So I've got a pattern here. You can take any pattern you like. This happens to be one that I just downloaded from the internet. You can see that it's all done in pixels. It's just a very basic pattern. So once you've created your pattern, it has to be to the exact size you want your pattern to be. So let's say this one is 200 by 200 pixels. It has to be exactly. So now we can choose Edit, Define Pattern. Give this a name and choose OK. So now we've defined this as a pattern, and we can use that pattern wherever we like within Photoshop. So I've got a dress here, but it's just a drawing of a dress I'm downloading off the internet. It's a very small picture, and I'd like to make this bigger and fill it with a pattern. So the quickest way to fill it with a pattern would be to use the Magic Wand tool, select, Edit, Fill, choose Pattern, and then choose our pattern from the drop down. We've all instantly coloured our pattern, but we can't then edit this at all. We can't increase the size, make any changes. And I'd like my dress to be on an A4 piece of paper. So I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to choose the International Paper section, select A4 and OK. I'm now going to take my dress and I'm going to put it onto my A4 document. So you can see here that the dress is tiny compared to this, and I'd like to fill it with my pattern. So I'm going to zoom right into the dress. There we go. And we're going to create a vector mask for it. We're going to select the ellipse tool and draw a basic ellipse. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Now mine's already set to the correct opacity. You want to decrease it to about 30% so that you can see through your shape. So now we're going to select the direct selection tool, which is this one here. Make sure you've selected the direct selection tool and not the path selection tool. The direct selection tool has a white arrow, the path black. So we've got our white arrow. Now we can click on the outer edge of this circle and we can see these nodes appear. When you select one, it turns black and it has these tabs which allow us to change it. So we're going to stick these onto our drawing and we're going to follow the outline of our dress as best we can. We want to use as few nodes as possible so that you can get nice fluid curves. You can click on the line itself in between nodes and drag that if you want, but you can also make fine adjustments using the tabs that come out of the nodes. For sharp corners like this, if I zoom in as much as possible, we can get it as best we can using these tabs, and then right click on the line, add anchor point, and make some fine adjustments with a smaller anchor. I'm going to go around the entire shape, doing the exact same thing the entire way. And we're done. With a bit of patience and some practice, we can get this shape spot on. So now I'm going to take away the original layer, the one with the dress. I can either hide it or just delete it. I'm going to delete the layer. So now we're going to give our layer a name just to make things simple. So I'm going to call this dress, and we can increase our opacity back to 100%. So here we have a direct copy of our original scanned image, but the great thing with this is that we can use the selection tool, right click and free transform this layer, and now when we blow it up it keeps the nodes relative. So if I go back out to view my entire image, I can blow this right up and it has perfect lines. This is equally good for laser cutting because we can use this exact same file to export a .eps and then import that into a laser program to keep the vector lines. So now we can right click our address, select blending options, and we can edit it to our heart's content. We can add outlines with varying borders. We can add colour overlays, changing the colour easily. We can add a gradient overlay, able to change gradients. Or we can, as we were doing the video, add a pattern overlay. Choosing pattern, we can select the pattern we want. For example, this dress pattern I've got here. And then we can make changes, so I can increase the scale. It's a nice one there. And there we have our dress filled in with a pattern. Let's put an outline on it too. There we go.